Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angelica, and today I wish to share with you the time that I was cursed into believing that I was a certain person's twin flame and what I learned from it. So basically I'm going to be kind of skimming over the story, right? And sharing with you the meaty bits because I feel like it's really unnecessary to go through all of the trauma and drama. And because my intention here is to empower you, to bring you into a greater sense of empowerment, or through sharing my experiences with you. And because, stuff like this, curses and stuff, when we get into magical, remembering our magical nature, it can strike some fear. And just with the whole twin flame, there can be a whole lot of like distortions and things around it. My intention here is to bring you through to a greater sense of empowerment so that you can discern and decipher for yourself what this means for you, or what kind of experience you might be having. Because in the realm of twin flames, I really feel that there is, so many distortions and things like that. So I want to preface this video by saying a couple things. I have a couple things here. And so when us as humans, we perceive this concept with our own distorted viewpoints, right, that are distorted from our experiences, which are defined by many false belief templates, and then therefore there's trauma and all things. So when we have all of this and we take it and we're perceiving this twin flame concept, I really feel that humans we're doing ourselves a great disservice in a lot of ways. And I feel that I was really guided to share this experience because I feel like not many people have this experience or are sharing these experiences. I also want to say that everyone is a twin flame. We just did not all choose to incarnate into earth during this time to experience that journey, to have that experience. Sometimes we have to really allow ourselves to be brought into the space where the illusions are crushed, so, and I feel that the twin flame journey really does just that in its own beautiful way. I feel like a lot of humans have gotten caught up in their distortions, and they're not really using or utilizing their experience of the twin flame journey or of the twin flame theme in order to raise themselves into a higher level of empowerment and sovereignty. As I was having my own experience of the twin flame theme, it really showed me my own disempowerments, where I was desperate, where I was feeling unworthy, where I was having unhealthy codependent attachments, and I was actually enmeshed in other people's energy, and it just showed me so much. So I just wanted to put that out there, that perhaps your experience with the twin flame concept is to bring you into a greater sense of empowerment and sovereignty, and maybe not so much to have your twin flame. So maybe your experience of the twin flame theme is not so much for twin flame itself, but maybe it's supposed to catalyze you into greater evolution, ascension, which is already, part of that theme, part of that dynamic is to help us ascend. I just feel that some of us are chasing that coveted prize, if you will. Twin flame experience, and that experience of it can be very empowering. It can be very healing, very enlightening, and it can be very sobering, right? It really brought me to face all of that shit for myself. And I feel that too many of us are chasing the coveted prize without doing the work. It's because of those unhealthy relationship patterns. It's not about blaming you or judging you. It's about illuminating your awareness about what could potentially be there within this nugget and within this beautiful magical realm that is the twin flame experience. We are all twin flames. We just did not all choose to incarnate here to have that experience of being and anchoring as a twin flame in this lifetime. And a lot of us, it's time to accept that. And so with that acceptance, we can move into a greater expression, more healing, etc., whatever is meant to come in for you. Oh, I also wanted to say that when we're not mindful, because all of the unhealthy patterns that we might still be playing out unconsciously, because of those, the twin flame concept can be a breeding ground and a target for projecting all of our unhealthy wounds. So again, this is just to reiterate that whole theme of, where are you with it? What is it bringing up within you? I feel like that's part of what the twin flame journey does. It's not just about being with this other person. It's about integrating within yourself the conscious and unconscious and alchemizing that into wholeness. That's what the twin flame journey is about. And when we create greater wholeness or full wholeness within ourselves, we can then attract that counterpart that is also healed. And then we're not attracting from wounds. So when we actually take the time to do that within ourselves, we can attract another whole person that we're not attracting from wounds. We're not attracting from unhealed belief templates. Lastly, I wanted to say, no matter what your experience with the twin flame concept is, it's for you. It's for your growth, your evolution, your ascension. You have your own experience. And if it doesn't look like someone else's experience of it, it's okay. This is my experience of it. Share your experience of it, because then that helps all of us as human beings to be okay in having our own experience, rather than clamoring to have the same experience of the same thing. So let's get into it. My story. My experience began in February of 2020, and it ended in December of 2020. So keep that time span in mind. This person had slid into my DMs, as we say, and we just kind of got to talking, and it was never anything ever really substantial. It was kind of more surfacey stuff. And the thing about this person's energy, there was something about it that made me go, whoa, what was that? That was nuts. I remember having this general feeling of like, I feel like I'm about to learn something very valuable. And I feel like that should have been an indication of what the fuck I was about to get into. My intuition was like, something's not right, because I was feeling very, very drawn to this person and very like attracted to this person, yet I didn't even know this person. And I know that can happen. Obviously it can happen, but it felt like there was just a lot missing between, like I said, it was kind of surfacey. It wasn't very substantial. It didn't have a lot of substance to it. So something felt off. It just didn't feel right. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I couldn't question it. And I could question it, but I couldn't question it to this person. And it was just really odd, right? Somewhere in there within that month or so, I realized they were triggering a drama trauma cycle for me. And that triggered another like kind of conversation, and then everything just it went fucking dark. It went blank. What we would call that in in the twin flame concept is separation, running and chasing, right? And that's another thing. That's another thing that led to so much confusion in my experience of this, was because everything lined up just as it would in the twin flame concept, running, chasing, exact opposites. It was like 3 or so months of silence, and during that is when I began to hear clairaudiently that this person was my twin flame, this person was my divine counterpart. And I initially had so much resistance to that, because I think it was back in 2015 that I had already had an experience that was supposedly a twin flame too, and it wasn't a twin flame. It was like some false twin, clearing karma, different things. And so I had already had resistance to this. I've already had these types of push-pull relationships, and that's what I'm healing. I don't want that type of relationship, right? My thing was, okay, well, I don't know if this is the truth or not, because this feels really weird and things are not computing. And so I'm just going to focus myself on my healing, because that's where I was already focused anyway. Having to refocus during the whole 9-month process, having to refocus back on my healing was, I feel, my saving grace in all of it. And so eventually this person came back in, and there was what I thought was clarity, but it was really more of just the same bullshit. And then there was another gap of time, and I was still feeling compelled. And I was like, after this whole year has gone by, I'm still feeling compelled toward this person. Something is definitely not right. Something is not computing, and I was right all along. So I reached out in December to a friend. And she immediately cut through the bullshit. She was telling me, like, this person is definitely not your twin flame. It was, same soul group, but not twin flame, clearing karma type of thing. Definitely some spells, curses, probably be good to get them out of there. And, 2 of my friends came to rescue. Her and another friend of mine came to the rescue and helped, excavate all of that. And it was a grueling process, but it felt amazing afterwards. And wouldn't you know, didn't feel any compulsion afterwards. And it was because this person was unconsciously working with dark beings to, drain certain energies, like psychic energy, heart energy, different energies. And it was actually compelling. That's part of what was compelling me to be with this person, because I was trying to get my own energy back. I want you to see how the intuition was already there. It was always there, but it was just like something was like, it was the spells, the curses that were overlaid over my intuition that was blocking it, that was saying, like, my intuition was saying, coming in and saying, girl, something ain't right here. And the curses and spells was like, oh, it's okay, girl, just give it, just give in, you love it. So what did I learn? I learned so much. I wanted to share with you 5 things that I personally took from this. When I found out I had curses and spells, I was kind of, it triggered a little bit of fear in me, but I was like, okay, all right, it just means I need to learn something. It's actually this experience that helped me understand this even more, so that I could actually facilitate something like this if need be. It brought me into a greater illumination of my own skills and abilities, right? So I just wanted to share with you these things so that you can see this is how we grow as humans, and this is how we chose to come in. However, this is not how we have to learn. We don't have to learn this way anymore. We don't have to learn through these polarizing experiences. We can learn through light or dark, but we learn through both, right? We don't have to fear learning through darkness. Number one, that this was a sacred initiation. I remember having that knowing that this was a sacred initiation through darkness, by the hands of darkness, however you want to word it. It was an initiation. And what I was getting for this was that this is actually one of the ways, one of the many ways that darkness catalyzes the light, which is you, into remembering itself fully and to remembering its empowerment, its sovereignty as a being of light, as a being of love. Sacred initiations are activated at certain points of readiness during our journey that are there to initiate us into higher knowing or knowledge for purposes of elevation, growth, evolution, and ascension. Your greater being is bringing you through to and through certain experiences so that you can remember and catalyze and grow into, evolve into that knowing, that sovereignty. It doesn't always feel good, but it is part of our experience here. It's part of the agreement of growing through certain things at this time. And it's also dependent upon your soul and your journey. Remember that. Number two, really simple, trust your intuition. If it feels like there is something that doesn't quite compute, or it feels wrong, or it feels off, trust your gut, trust your intuition, examine further, and also be open to having an experience so that you can bring more clarity, greater clarity into your being. Like, again, like I said, sometimes it's not the greatest experience. Sometimes it doesn't feel that great, but we're here to feel it all. And in the feeling of it, we're actually alchemizing those feelings. We're actually alchemizing those lower dense emotions for ourselves and for the collective. So remember, there's multi-purpose here. Which brings me into number three, multifunctionality, multi-purpose, multifaceted, multidimensionality. This is a higher perspective remembrance, knowing, right? Activation. Remember that we're working through many, many layers of this reality, this holographic reality. So you might be brought to certain experiences so that you can heal, right? So that you can awaken to your multidimensional aspects. This is something that was actually catalyzed for me after this process. It helped me awaken and heal other multidimensional aspects that were greatly, like massively disempowered from other lifetimes. And I came here to heal those aspects of myself. We're working through many layers and many dimensions at once, or everyday revelations, insights, or things that come to you. You're working through many layers of your own consciousness as well as reality. So that's a higher perspective to hold that'll help you get through and grow through this twin flame, or just any experience, really. Number four, my self-worth, my self-respect, how my self-image was all completely reborn from this. I literally was obliterated through this whole process. I had to face all of the shit around the wounds that I was holding around relationships. I had to face it all, and it was ugly, it was uncomfortable, and a lot of times it was really unbearable to even hold that, and to even come to terms with how, as a young child, I had experienced that, and I equated love with resentment, with abandonment, with rejection. And that's just one aspect of all of the shit that I uncovered. So it was really, really hard to come to terms with all of that, because then what comes up after that? Anger and all of the hurt from all of the stuff. But this deepened so much my worth, my self-image. It completely overhauled my self-image, my self-worth, my self-respect. So I wanted to give that to you so that if you are having this experience or just your own experience, that is challenging, remember that there is a richness to the deepening, and that the uncomfortability that you may be experiencing now is short-lived. And it does feel like it will go on forever, but it will pass because you are alchemizing it through your being. So remember that and intend for that, that you are alchemizing as you are experiencing this for the highest good of yourself and for all. Number five, the last little bit that I wanted to share with you in this offering is this experience really drove home the importance of self-work, inner work, shadow work. And no matter what modality you want to utilize, whether it's just energy healing or soul retrieval or shamanic journeying or past life regression or QHHT or whatever, right? There's so many healing modalities. Whatever your modality is or whatever you feel drawn to, do it. It's so important because as humans, we have unconscious and conscious parts, right? And we are reconciling that back into wholeness within ourselves. And the parts that are irreconciled, right? The unconscious dark parts within ourselves that are irreconciled, they're still fragmented. They are places of attraction. They are points of attraction that will draw certain experiences to us until we illuminate and clear that trauma. They act as blind spots and holes that can actually be detrimental to us because we can be manipulated by those, we can be triggered by those. There's perspective of it that it was all divine, it was all appropriate. But also, if you have wounded aspects or belief templates that are not in alignment with you, there are holes in your field that will attract experiences in the form of people or situations, etc., that are designed to draw your attention to these and trigger you into the awareness so that you can illuminate your own self, heal, clear all of that, and move on into sovereignty, empowerment, and your own badass creator self. This is what we came here to do. We're alchemizing all of this shit so we can be more empowered and co-create a conscious reality where we can all be uplifted. So the more of us that illuminate our own consciousness, we're actually healing. We're not only healing that for ourselves, we're helping to heal that for our ancestors. We're helping to heal that for, for down the line behind us and in front of the line in front of us, and also all around us, right? All of existence, all of humanity. This is why this work is so important. And so with that, beautiful souls, thank you so much for watching. It is my strong intent that you received exactly what you came here to illuminate yourself with, and that you decide and discern for yourself what that means for you and your own experience. Have your own experience with this, not my experience. Have your own experience, not someone else's. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.